Mitch, commiserations. Can you give us your initial thoughts after that?
Yeah, disappointing. I thought we did a lot of good stuff, especially first innings with the ball. It was obviously a little bit there. I thought we bowled well. Pretty happy with 160 at the turn. I think, but credit to West Indies, the way they really squeezed us through the middle. And I guess we made us take tough options that I guess we lost wickets. But yeah, I mean, it's frustrating. I guess it's a little bit disappointing at the moment, but we've got to move on pretty quick, don't we?
What was going through your head in those last 2 overs? Was there a point where you thought this is maybe not on, or was it just see what happens?
Yeah, it was a bit of see what happens and just stand still and try strike. I think once we got to the last over, I was like, potential. But yeah, it was, I guess, 2 hits away. But yeah, I mean, I think it shows like you actually have a lot more time than you think, especially in a chase. If you can take it deep, I think, I guess we were kind of hamstrung. We let the rate get to about 15s in a 160 chase, which is, you've got a lot of work to do from there.
I know you won't want to make excuses, but you've lost now both of your first choice openers in Finn and Tim. You've lost probably one of your better fielders in Glenn. Are the injuries sort of catching up with you guys?
No, I guess you always want your best team here, but I think it's, I guess what we've got coming up, it gives us a good opportunity to see different guys step up, and we've seen it, the T20 series already, the one-day series, and I think, it's probably the last, I guess, home series before we start picking the World Cup squad, but, we got India away when boys will be away and franchise opportunities, so there will be different guys probably on that tour, and it gives, it shows the depth of the squad, and it gives guys opportunities to perform. So when I guess they're called upon in massive games, they've had some experience.
We saw you what looked like having words with the umpire after the Jacob Duffy run out. Can you talk us through that?
It was, I guess the technology was inconclusive. So it was just one of those ones where, it's obviously you can't take a man's word for it. If you got to have a look at the technology, but it was all just fun and games with Haggis.
Mitch, I know you probably had a different experience to probably everyone else out there, but what was the pitch like, and what are you expecting it to sort of be like tomorrow night?
Yeah, I think it was still a pretty good wicket. Kind of your classic Eden Park with a bit of bounce, but kind of off cutters were kind of sticking in the wicket, but I think it got a bit dewy and it started to skid on a little bit at the end, and made it quite nice for batting. So I think, it's, again, we've got to see what this pitch is going to do tomorrow. But I think first innings, there was definitely a bit of bounce, and similar, I think it got a bit tacky, but then started to skid on a little bit, later in the innings. So I think if you were to bowl second again, you'd probably ideally take a few in the power play, and then hopefully it doesn't get any dew. But I think it was a good cricket wicket, and it came down to a pretty close game in the end.
Just on Jacob, we've seen a lot of the bowlers go down, and he's, despite being quite internationally inexperienced, he has really stood up as the leader of his attack. How good is it for you having him to throw the ball to almost lead in this series?
Yeah, Duff's been excellent in the last 2 years. Taking every opportunity that's gone his way, and like you said, he's probably the leader of the pack at the moment, especially in T20. Even in white ball with I guess Matt Henry as well. So yeah, I mean 3 in the power play is never a tough gig, but he made it look pretty easy tonight. And then I think all 3 of the seamers at the end there, the way they operated the death, mixing it up, nailing their skills, and made it look pretty challenging for the batters. And you come up against some very strong power hitters with Rovman Powell and Shepherd and Holder. So that we're able to close them out for 160. We're pretty happy with that.
Keeping them to 160 on this ground with these boundaries, is it, I guess, annoying that this one sort of slipped?
Yeah, I think at the turn you're very happy, and I think the positives we can take from today was the way we bowled, the seamers especially up front and at the death. It's going to be probably similar plans tomorrow, I'd say, on a similar wicket. So yeah, and I guess it's you learn from your wins and your losses, so the batting unit will learn, we're in a pretty good position. I think we just let that one slip a little bit in the middle, and then, you make it pretty tough from there. But, I think, the guys understand what options they need to be taken out there, and you just learn from it, and you got to move on pretty quick because we've got a game soon.
Michael Bracewell didn't bowl. Was that just because of the 2 right-handers, or was it anything else, sort of more of a bat than a bowler?
Yeah, he was actually due to come on that 8th over, and then Nish got the wicket, the lefty out straight away. So we, but yeah, I think we have 6-7 bowling options, which is nice to have. Obviously, seamers looked like a handful today, and there was a little bit of grip. So Rutchin was used, and I think the more we can throw the ball to Rutchin and Bracewell, and even GP when he's there, especially for some conditions we're potentially going to get in the World Cup, the more overs under the belt, the better.
What were you thinking when he put that catch down, the one-handed one?
It was a pretty good effort, to be fair. You don't really want to drop a guy like Rovman Powell too many times either. But yeah, I think Eden Park can be a tough catching ground, especially those flat ones. They're quite hard to see, and obviously the sky ones you get a bit of a swirl on. So I think we look at the fielding. We were pretty good. We had a few chances, a couple of run-outs and a couple of drop catches. So that all adds up, doesn't it?
Mitch, on a lighter note, that last wicket partnership, what was the conversation going on with Duffy? You stay at your end and I stay at mine?
Pretty much. I said, I'll do it, Duff. You get one off one, and then I'll take the rest. But yeah, the only time we actually thought about running was trying to get a 2 when we needed 14 off 3, and I managed to chip one over cover to get 2. But yeah, I think it shows if you can kind of get yourself in, and you can, there was, you can put bowlers under pressure, and I think kind of like Shea did, he took his time at the start, and then was able to cash in a little bit, which was a great knock, I thought.
Can you start calling your Ben Stokes and Duffy Jack Leach from now on?
I'm probably more the Jack Leach with the glasses on than the Ben Stokes, but
Thank you. Did you play golf against Brian Fox the other day?
I did.
Was that?
Yeah, it was a very easy 64, and yeah, I think he said he was a little bit nervous. He played a couple of even rounds, but he made golf look pretty easy, which was annoying for a few boys watching anyway.